Well, hello there, everybody. It's been quite a while. Well, you know who it is. It's Lefty back again with some running in place content in Diablo 4. Live this time, actually take two, because accidentally did not record game audio because I forgot briefly how I route audio in my studio, and forgot that certain things needed to be pointed at certain outputs that I haven't normally come to use. But well, we'll talk more about my studio in a bit. Yeah, so doing this live. Diablo 3 is out right now, or not 3. Well, Diablo 3 is out. Technically, it's out, but this is Diablo 4 that I'm playing. And thought I'd do a little live content for you. Soft core, the only thing softer core would be on Skinemax at 2:30 in the morning, because, well, I'm bad. I tried to think of a better reason, but suffice it to say I'm bad. So we're gonna run through a dungeon here to get enough. We're gonna get an aspect, and we're also gonna get some, as you'll see here, some grim favor points so that we can go get some higher level loot. Just broke into World Tier 3 yesterday. Yesterday it was, yeah. I didn't know you had to do a quest to get it done again, as I've already mentioned. Bad. So we're supposed to search the slain knights for the keep key. I don't think I've done this one before, but I've definitely done stuff on here. Now I know you're asking yourself, why are you back? That guy's upset. Well, oh damn, did he just vomit out a bunch of stuff? The hell happened to you, dude? One of the primary reasons is that, it just kind of bothers me that the last thing on my YouTube channel of any import was Christmas themed, where I talk about Christmas a lot. And I'm the kind of guy where I'm bothered by that just a little bit. I love Christmas. Favorite holiday, no doubt, but Christmas should stay where Christmas belongs, and that is, to me, the day after Halloween. And then so that's why those guys were so tough. They were getting protected by the other guy. I get it now. Then maybe a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks into January. I mean, for me, the Christmas ads should stop. Christmas Day, they should just stop. I don't want to see Christmas-themed ads after Christmas. But anyway. So it's been a while. I planned, or had originally thought about doing something else in the interim, but work just went crazy. I signed on to do the promotional work for a professional sports league, as well as a couple of their other spots. And so I was just on an absolute tear, and so there was a lot of work to be done, and my days were sometimes 3, 4, sometimes 5 recording sessions, not including auditions that I do. So had a lot of stuff going on, and honestly, playing a little bit of golf, sometimes. Just thought, hey, I'll go out and play some golf and suck. Just like I suck at Diablo. So you don't need to worry. Like, is he good at golf but not Diablo? No, he is not. Don't ask what my handicap is, you bunch of inconsiderate ableists. But yeah, so it kind of bothered me that the last thing was Christmas themed, and I thought, kind of come full circle. If anybody's still around from that time, very early on in my YouTube career when Diablo 3 came out, I did some Diablo content, not knowing what I was doing, making that kind of content. I mean, when have I ever known what I was doing making any kind of content? However, I digress. And so yeah, Diablo 3 came out, and I put some content out, and I thought, hey, you know what, Diablo 4, I love Diablo. Don't claim to be good at it. Don't claim to be a world beater. But it's fun. It appeals to my loot goblin nature. And without the risk of something like Tarkov. Less just anxious anxiety-inducing than something like Tarkov. So I like it. I also like the way things, as you progress, kind of play into one another. Like this skill does this, and then it plays into that, and that begets more that, and and pretty soon you're doing hella damage. Like right now, I'm not gonna lie, I just got into World Tier 3, and I feel like I'm doing some guys dirty. I mean, I'll maybe we'll show you the build after we do the Tree of Whispers, but I feel like I'm in a good place build wise. I didn't follow a strict build guide this time around, or at least not yet, because I feel like my play in Diablo 3 and then, you know, remastered, or Diablo 2 Resurrected, excuse me, it would get just formulaic, where you're just trying to build to a spec. You only care about items that are in your spec that have these stats with this kind of roll on them, stuff like that. And while, you know, I felt like it's more, the world's more open this time around. There's not as many, it's not as much of, it's more undiscovered country in this Diablo landscape, at least right now. So I feel like I can more easily like, oh, what's this? Oh, I'm going to do that. If you'll notice, I kind of stack vulnerability and some of my passives. Oh boy, that hurt. That hurt a lot. Some of my passives are geared towards like crit damage and doing vulnerable damage and doing more critical damage or better critical strikes to vulnerable enemies, that kind of stuff. So I feel like I'm on to something, if not, you know, I know there's a poison twisting blades build out there that just looks super nasty, but I've I guess made it on my own, if you want to say that, but this, you know, this time of Diablo is ripe for just experimenting, and I really enjoy that. Use the keep key to open the door, absolutely. And the other reason, one of the other reasons that I'm back is that I've been having a little bit of a crisis of conscience when it comes to my sound. For the longest time, I think actually when we last saw each other, when I was streaming and then also on the video, the microphone in use in my studio at that time was a TLM 103 by, I say Newman, but I've heard Neumann a few times. I don't know. And I felt like I was in a rut. I felt like, man, you know, I need something else. I don't know what it is. And of course, there's options. You know, the big boy microphones, the U87, and I've also recorded on a I think an AKG. I want to say C12. I think it's a C12 or maybe a C16. It's green and gold, and that was in a hella studio. That was really nice. But you know, outside of dropping, I think it's like $4,000 for the U87 or $6,000 for this C16 or maybe even $7,000. I felt like, well, I need something that's more, one, price range, but two, something that in the business of voiceover is kind of ubiquitous, because one thing that I've come to learn is that, well, you know, your stuff gets mixed after you give it to the client, and it gets mixed most often by a professional audio engineer. And so pro audio engineers want to know what you're recording on, or if there's a pro audio engineer that's working on your stuff, they want to know what you're recording on so that they can know what to do with it. Different mics react different ways with different, you know, frequencies at different volumes and all that stuff. So collect animus from animus characters. All right. And one thing that a lot of studios have, the microphone that a lot of studios have, is not the TLM 103, which people claim is the same power, you know, the workhorse as the U87. However, well, they're definitely not charging the same for the TLM 103 as they are the U87, and ouch. So the other one that's ubiquitous pretty much in the voiceover world, don't get frozen, is the microphone I'm speaking to you now on, which is a Sennheiser MKH 416. and I got it. I put it in my studio immediately. I started playing with it and trying to, make my signal chain do what it needs to do to make it sound really good. And then I took it out because I wasn't really feeling it. But again, I just got the gumption to try to tinker. I'm a tinkerer by nature, and recently put it back in the signal chain and I'm messing with it. I think I'm in a pretty good place. I have to mess with some other stuff too. I think the sibilance might be a little off, so I got to mess with my DS and DS settings and all that, because obviously my studio is where I do most of my work now, because I haven't been in a big time real deal studio in, good Lord, since 2 summers ago when I recorded something in Georgia. And so a lot of my work is done here, so I need to have the gear commensurate with where I would do work previously, pre-pandemic. It's all pandemic driven. What isn't these days? So the 416 seemed like the option. The other good thing about it is that I think its polar pattern is the best for my studio right now, because I don't have it's hard to fully soundproof something, without spending buku bucks. So I think it works best in terms of what it picks up and what it rejects sound-wise. And also it has the nifty little feature, unlike the TLM-103, which was pretty neutral to the proximity effect. It actually, one of the good things about it, why it's used in studios a lot, is that you can get right up on it and it's going to pretty much sound the same all the time, which you would think, hey, don't you want that? Well, yeah, you want to be able to have some reliability of sound, but also in my work, if I'm doing promo work for a dealership client, or, if I'm, 108.1, the drive, you want to get right up on it. So the Sennheiser, the 416, reacts a little bit better to a proximity effect, and you can use it. You can use it to sound really well. Other people can, maybe not me. So I just wanted something long form. Getting back to why we're here, I wanted something long form that I can listen back to and kind of critique and listen to, and oh god, these guys suck so much. Let's go. Nope, not cold resist. There it is. Something that I can listen back to and be like, hey, okay, what sounds good? What doesn't sound good? What needs work? The proximity effect, or plosives are coming through a little bit right now, I can hear. So do I need to back off, or do I need to go off axis a little bit? Or, off axis for the Sennheiser can sound a little wonky. Not bad per se, but, it's a give and a take. So I wanted something a little bit longer form. Oh god, this happens all the time. That I can kind of critique, and obviously I'm sure people aren't going to be shy about giving me their opinions on how I sound. The answer is better than you. But, I just had I had a recording session today with a client. It was really cool. It was one take. Sent it to the guys like, hey, what are your thoughts? And he said, oh man, it's really awesome. It's really awesome. And I didn't know if that was just luck, if I really have found something here. So this serves a dual purposes. It's kind of a checkup, a check-in, if you will, as well as a little bit of something for work, so that I have a little bit of a test bed, if you will. Because right now, let's see what we're going through. We're going through. That's the other thing I changed. I went to the Manley reference mic preamp instead of the Neve 1073. The Neve 1073 was driving what you heard around Christmas time last year. And then it goes into a little bit of background noise reduction, then into the Teletronics LA2A, then a little EQ, then some de-essing and de-shing, And then one more round of subtle compression just to give it a warmer tube sound. A D-click so that mouth noises aren't as prominent or as gross. And then some limiting, baby. So we're going to try to, normally I'm at negative, what am I at? Negative 23 LUFs. And the standard for streaming, they say, is negative 14, but that sounds really loud. So I'm going to try to hit negative 20 LUFs and see where we're at. All right, so we completed the world tier. We got something else. We got a bunch of crap. So I automatically house any blues. Blues can get out of here, as well as anything that's, unless it looks super dirty. Yeah. Although if that's for a barb, overpower, ultimate, damage to close. Well, that's a low end on damage to close. That's kind of balls. All right. I don't know what the other classes use. Ooh, we got a sacred crossbow. You see, if you see the roll on this crossbow that I have, you'll see why it's technically low item power, but man, just look at all that it does. 28% core skill damage, slowed enemies, damage to close, and ultimate skill damage. Ooh. If I could reroll that ultimate skill damage to something else, I really wish that damage to slowed was crowd control or vulnerable, because I would really hate to give up damn near 40% of vulnerable damage, but we'll hold on to that for right now. And injured, stunned. I don't do a lot of stun. And I don't use an ultimate, so that would be 2 rerolls that I can't do. No. Damage to slowed, damage to stunned, damage to dazed. No, I don't think I can do it with the loss of crit strike damage. All right. Slowed, cold, damage over time, no. Core, injured. Ooh. Ooh. No. And to round it out, all stats, crit strike damage, damage to stunned, 2 ranks of penetrating shot, critical strike chance, another sacred crossbow, vulnerable, overpower, vulnerable. Oh, so close. We were so close. All stats, and I know I'm probably offending plenty of sensibilities by how I'm going through this armor and what I'm not taking, but you know what? It's all right. It's a softcore character. Doesn't really matter, does it? All right, let's head off to the Tree of Whispers, and let's see what Tier 3, World Tier 3 Tree of Whispers hands out. And then maybe we can go over the build really quick. I honestly don't know if I can... I think this was answered last time, but I don't know if I can upload anything past... God, what was the old limit? 25? 15? 25 minutes? Something like that? Technically, not partnered anymore. Big development. All right, do we want helms, boots, or gauntlets? Helm, boot, gauntlets. I think gauntlets are the key, baby. We need something nasty out of these gauntlets. Let's go. Nightmare. Ooh, sacred legendary gloves that might be huge. Could be huge. Many people are saying. 2 ranks of flurry, 33 dex, 2 ranks of rapid fire, 30 willpower. Your marksman skills have up to a 10% chance to create an arrow storm. Oh, this one. Dealing lowest roll. Oh, man. But if I can re-roll... If I can re-roll, let's say, willpower. Or dex. No, because rapid fire, I don't use rapid fire. That would just be sitting there completely unused. So I'd have to reroll rapid fire to probably crit strike chance. Interesting. It's worth keeping an eye on. All right, we'll go over the other things later. Nobody really cares. On to the build. Now, if you know something, if you see something that jumps out at you that I'm missing out on, feel free to shout it out when you know. Puncture is the basic, and it's energy generation, and then with fundamental puncture, you get vulnerable. Now, vulnerable is important because flurry does damage, and then each time flurry damages a crowd-controlled or vulnerable energy, you're healed for 1% of your maximum life, up to 12% maximum life per cast. So, healing generation of the build, then improved flurry. If flurry hits any vulnerable enemy, it will make all enemies hit by that cast vulnerable for 3 seconds. Now, why that's important is because somewhere here, is where... No, seriously, where is it? Where did it go? No. Nope. If there's been... Nope. Casting an imbuement? Nope. Nope. Up here it is. Flurry damages enemies in a circle around you and deals 8% increased damage. Again, that's kind of a crap roll, but whatever. But that turns effectively flurry into an AoE vulnerable causing attack. And then we go from flurry to shadow step and dash. Increases critical strike damage against slowed enemies, I believe that was. Oh no, any enemy damaged by dash, which is good because enemies damaged by dash end up being either stunned or vulnerable, and then vulnerable begets more critical damage, etc., etc. And so that's kind of the build I've been working with. Onto concealment, because dash and shadow step, and I also have something that has a legendary that gives shadow step 2, gives shadow step 2 charges, and then concealment is for 1, a little bit of energy generation, and 2, any move, the next cast after concealment will be a guaranteed critical strike. So that'll keep the DPS up. Hopefully, shadow imbuement for the injured enemy buff, and also the primary explosion makes also enemies vulnerable. So we're just trying to cause vulnerability to anybody we can. Impetus, again, movement. So we have impetus, and then we have this this skill, which is for each second you stand still. So you move 15 meters, you get a damage buff, and then if you're standing there trying, going toe-to-toe with enemies up in their grill, you get another damage buff. So that's kind of what we're working with. It's been interesting. It's been fun. It's an active play style, which I like, but I also like the couple click here, couple click there, just death raying people. That's also fun too. But what I do know is that's my time. I want to thank you all for joining me, and hope you are all doing well. Hope you are all doing great. Every single one of you. It has been fun creating some content for you again, and I really enjoy it. And, maybe Diablo 4 is a thing that can be streamed. I don't want to commit to anything, but it's an itch that I like to scratch, and Diablo 4 just suits my loot goblin needs. Thank you guys for joining. I'll catch you next time, whenever, wherever that may be. Your build thoughts, your sound thoughts, your sonic thoughts in the comments, if you please. But if they're not helpful, or if they criticize me in the least, I shall block you. It's up to you whether you want to think I'm kidding or not. I am kidding. I don't care. All right, that's my time. Thank you guys for joining. Have a good rest of your week. And until next time, peace.